Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. This is episode 108 of the Halls of Arden Vul Megadungeon campaign, written by Richard Barton, and we are using a heavily modified version of the old school Essential system by Necrotic Gnome. Tonight, my name is John. I'm your referee for the evening, and we have...
I'm Upior, and I'm David, and I'll be playing Upior, the 6th level magic user.
Hi, everybody. I'm Matt. I'm a 7th level fighter. Wolfhard Cheek! Let's get on with it already.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ted. Tonight I will be reprising my role as Mortis J. Gobliano, level 8 goblin, and not even tiny bit sorry about stealing everything that belonged to the Five Fingers.
Well, another one who would probably agree with you would be Mike, but he is dead to us tonight. So it is the 24th of Gelenios. It's approximately 11:20 a.m. Retainers with the party right now are Barrios and Elizabeth. They are absent Lothar, who goes disappearing into the NPC cloud. We have XP updates. Upior and Elizabeth both have enough XP to level up to levels 7 and 8 respectively. However, they do need to rest before they can do that. But it should be something that the players should consider if they want to see those level ups happen. They are currently in the Rudishva cloisters after having used the Rudishva useful palm to diminish the carnivorous plant in the center of the room, thus eliminating any threat in the area. They found some interesting stuff in the Rudishva library. They found the corpse of the Captain Lael Jor of the Shining Beacon in the chapter house to the south. And they have a teleport circle that is also in the cloisters as well. I told them on Discord, we didn't reveal it in the last episode, but because they did a thorough search of the cloisters, I just gave it to them. That teleport circle has a plaque that indicates that it takes them to the transportation hub, which they have a good idea where that is, due to their Veruda map of some of the Midnight Road areas. The status stuff, Wolfhard is still fatigued from that pet pill he popped. So he's moving that quarter movement, which limits everybody in their exploration movement. Nerve gas has still been deployed in all Rudishva modules, which is affecting all respiring, breathing creatures for an untold amount of time for now. And the battle robots and security constructs have been deactivated in the bridge, and they do know when that's going to end, and that is going to end at 5 p.m. And like I said, it's 11:20 a.m. right now, so they do have a little bit of a clock if they want to take advantage of that. And last thing is, I have the info, but I just want to make sure that they relate to the audience, is what ID plaques do you have and who has them? If you guys could just inform us.
Mort is carrying an orange ID card and a silver ID card.
Okay.
Upior is carrying a yellow
go ahead.
ID card.
Okay.
Wolfhard has 3. He's got the multicolored personal defense array card, a brown card that we don't know why that's significant, though it can't be very good, and a yellow card that he just picked up from the captain.
Okay, and Mort, you said you have a silver and a what?
Orange. Yeah.
Okay.
And John, if I could go back to something you said a few minutes ago, I don't think the battle robots were deactivated. Only the constructs.
Okay, is that you could deactivate the battle robots? Is that what you wanted to do?
We specifically didn't want to, because we wanted them to continue guarding stuff that we don't want people to get at.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, since we knew there were just 2 and we knew where they are and we aren't planning to go there, we just left them on.
Okay, fair enough. One thing to note too, although you cannot access it because Lothar is no longer here, but we never really addressed it because we got distracted, I think, during the episode. But Mike kind of threw out that you found that one laser pistol, and that he inserted a lesser power ply into it. So just be aware that there is you don't have it this session, but we should definitely bring it up next time Mike is playing. That you do have a powered laser pistol, which has yet to be test fired or experimented with. Okay. All right. So That is the deal. You are in the cloisters. It's nice. Remember, it has that continual light sort of in the center in the conical ceiling, so it kind of gives the impression that you're actually outside. And it's quite pleasant now that assassin vine is no longer. But you do know that the cloisters is sort of this weird, unique sort of module in the fact that it doesn't have any normal access to the rest of the halls or the Midnight Road, right? You've got a sealed off one-way portal to the bridge, which you have no means of getting to that you're aware of, because there's no way to enter through that door. And then you also have the secret entrance to the engine room, so you could go back to the engine room if you wanted to. And then you also have the new portal to the hub, apparently, and you have the secret door in the southwest corner, which you do have an inkling where that likely connects to. So you have options, just all odd ones.
But I think that we are, just from our conversation offline, I think we're going to try that transportation circle to the hub. We want to see where that goes.
Blindly step into the hub, yes? Into the portal?
And is there a plaque? I mean, is there like a control thing nearby, or is it just the portal? Because I know some.
No, there's a control. It's a normal. It's a normal hub. A normal.
Okay.
Portal. Yeah. Okay. So everyone's stepping in.
Yes, everyone. Just keep in mind, I'm still feeling a little tired. I don't know if it's the years or what, but
Yep.
Just gonna take it easy for a little bit here.
The pill is definitely repeating on you. Okay, so you all step into the portal and you all dematerialize one at a time, and you rematerialize, and what you can only assume is the said translocation hub. So it is it's a very strange room. So first of all, the first thing you notice when you step out is that it is likewise lit. It is clad with white marble. No 90-degree angles, typical Rudishva, but it's white marble, not the plasteel. And it's illuminated by a series of continual light spells that are on that sort of dot the ceiling of the 30-foot tall ceiling. Okay, there are 6 semicircular niches that line the walls, and there are 3 pedestals that occupy the center of the room. Now, the room itself is actually canted entirely on a slant, so it'd be very difficult to draw. But Ted, are you using the vertimat to
I'm gonna actually try and draw it here. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna copy it because I have the map, but then I'll be able to make notes on it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, okay. So Ted's gonna transpose that map onto Miro, as you guys can see there. So
maybe.
So when you let's see, where are you stepping out from?
Good question.
Okay. So you are stepping out from that actual semicircular niche that you just drew. So it's the furthest north on the western wall. All right. Is what you're stepping out into. The first thing you notice movement. In the furthest niches, the ones that are to the south on the east and west, you see 2 stone Nataraja dance off their pedestals, wielding their scimitars and fire pots. All right.
Ooh.
And they seem to step forward with their big grins, and they look at you with their weapons sort of raised, right? And you can see that they're sort of scanning you, like they're very carefully looking at you, even though they're stone. You can kind of tell, right? They ignore all 3 of you, but they move aggressively towards Barrios and Lizbeth.
Oh, that's not good.
Because they're not carrying ID cards. Would be my guess.
All right, so they are
right.
So they are approximately about 40 feet away from you, towards the southeast. You have 2 10-foot wide pedestals that are sort of standing right in the middle of the room. And there's more to describe, but you've got like an imminent enemy in front of you, right? You do not see any obvious means of egress. On the far south wall, past the stone Nataraja, there is a what looks to be an opening, like a wide opening, about 20 feet wide, but it's all fiery. Like it looks like a wall of fire is basically blocking your way out of there. And there is something in the middle of that egress as well. It looks almost like a portal of some sort is in the middle of the fire, and you see it like a dancing figure, like something's moving in the fire itself. It's very, very strange. But quickly, like looking over your shoulder, like you see nothing. Like I mean, you don't see any sort of obvious doors or anything like that.
Which direction is the fire, John?
It's at the far southeast.
The south one. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we're situated in which one of those? I'm looking at the overall Varuda map that we have.
You're in the furthest
which
north
one of those?
on the west.
Northwest. Okay. If we look straight north, what is that structure that we kind of see up there?
So that's the third pedestal, but that one appears to be a half oval dais that is about 5 feet off the floor, and there is a basin that is filled with an emerald green liquid there. That's all you can get out of it, though, before your attention's sort of focused on the enemies approaching quickly. So you have to decide what you're doing right now before I call for initiative. Recall that only one person can teleport at a time.
I want to hand the orange access card to Barrios.
Okay, so you toss it to them real quick. Anything else?
Hopefully that works.
Guys, let's make a line between us, the people who they are not targeting, and our compatriots that they are. Let's just like line up so that they don't have a clean shot at them. Maybe angling towards that presumably other teleport hub in the north eastern corner.
Okay,
we can form like a fence.
I'm gonna float into this guy because I won't survive one hit, so I can't really be a meat shield for him.
Well, they said that they weren't targeting you.
Oh, you're saying that? Yeah, not fair. Fair. I'm thinking the fire pot being tossed at them would do splash damage on all of us, but yeah.
It very well might. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Let's start moving at least towards that other hub, just so that they have a place to go.
Okay.
Sound
all right. So you cross the width of the corridor towards that area, dragging them along with you. You notice the moment that Barrios snatches the orange card out of the air from Mort, that the eyes shift from looking at Barrios, and both of them focus solely on Lisbeth.
Okay.
All right.
I'm jealous of being the only one with 8th level, you see. And
so having tossed the plaque and moved, I'm going to say it's now initiative. Does anyone casting spells?
Lisbeth is going to use her. It's not really a spell, but she's going to transform into an animal. So,
okay, initiative. I got a 6.
Why don't you roll, Matt, for Elizabeth?
Thanks. Sure. Oh, that one fell off. Well, that's a 5, so that's still lower than 6, I believe.
Okay, so it sees like you guys sort of arrayed as defense in front of Elizabeth. However, it is a stone construct. It is not sentient. It has orders that it's basically following. So what it does is, although you guys are wielding identity plaques, which you have quickly surmised appears to keep them from attacking you, it has ways of getting to Elizabeth anyways. And it doesn't know that the fire pot's going to hurt you guys. So it does. It launches the fire pot. Let's see.
Great.
Just to make it clear, too, you do have an extra ID plaque that you could be tossing to someone who's being targeted. You do, right?
Okay.
Just throwing that out there. Okay. Okay.
So, John?
Yep.
On the map that we got from the Varuda.
Yep.
There's two the southeastern and southwestern niches have stars. Is that the Nataraja?
Yes, those are the Nataraja.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I forgot about this. I remember this from the last combat as well, that the fire pots only affect a single target. So I need Elizabeth to make me a save versus breath weapon, please.
Okay. And she, as a druid, she has a +2 save versus fire. Would this apply here?
Yep, it's fire.
Okay. All right. So Elizabeth is going to make a save versus, you said breath?
Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
she needs to make 2 saves because there's 2 fire pots coming.
Okay. Okay. The first one is a pass with a 14. And the second one is a fail with a 5.
Okay, so for the first one, she's going to take 8 points of damage, which is half damage. The second one, she's going to take...
Ouch, man.
She's going to take 30 points of damage from the second one.
God.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh! That takes her to -10.
-10? For real,
Oh, wait,
-10?
no. So she passed on the first one and failed on the second one. The second one was a 30?
So she took a total of 38 points of damage.
Oh.
What's she at?
Yeah, she had 28 max.
Yay. Okay, so the fire pot goes, the 2 fire pots go sailing over your heads, explode right at Elizabeth's feet. And despite her druidiness, she is completely immolated in the fire of the stone Natarajas.
Oh.
And her broken and burned body
about the 8th level thing, man.
falls
Oh.
falls to the ground, dead and smoking. As she does that, and we wave goodbye to one of the great NPCs, one of the great retainers, the stone Nataraja, basically hop up onto one leg, right? Turn away from Elizabeth, look at you guys one more time, and then they sort of dance their way joyfully back to their stations and crawl up onto their pedestals and become inanimate once more.
My little heart is broken.
Should have tossed that plaque, man. All right.
I should have. Stupid.
All right. So pour one out for Elizabeth.
Oh my God.
Another retainer for the graveyard.
Oh, that's a great way to start a session.
Oh my God.
Welcome back, everybody.
High levels won't save you.
30 points. Oh,
Boy, wait till Mike
man.
hears this. Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Oh.
So, all right. So now that things have quieted down, of course, you all have to kind of take a stunned moment to close your mouths as you gaze upon Elizabeth's form. The room itself, okay, again, lit, continual light. There's about 3 of them on the ceilings. There are obvious transportation hubs that are that are 4 of the 6 niches. The other 2, of course, are where the Nataraja are standing. There's the basin as I described. So the basin at the top of the chamber, half oval, 5 feet off the floor. In its center is a 4 foot tall and 8 foot diameter basin filled with emerald green liquid. Along the lip of the basin are 24 silver panels, each of them 3 inches square, and each of the panels feature a distinct rune on them, like a glyphic rune. Okay, and they're on the lip of the basin itself, right? Like you could sit on them if you wanted to. The dais is in the center. The one that's closest to you is 3 feet tall. In its center is a second raised square, also 3 foot tall, that is formed of red obsidian that is flecked with black. I actually haven't seen this sort of stone before. Okay, and something's going to happen at that one in just a second. Actually, it would have happened right when you were actually in the midst of combat. The other one is 3 foot tall. There's a secondary raised platform of black obsidian, normal obsidian, 5 foot square and 3 foot tall. That obsidian is pitted and chipped and shows signs of scorching, which the other red obsidian one doesn't. Now, as you guys were passing from the original transportation hub that you appeared in to go to the other one to defend Elizabeth, the red obsidian one actually activates in kind of when you pass within like 10 feet of it, you think it's like motion sensitive or something, and a holographic image of a orange jumpsuited Rudishva actually appears on top of that red obsidian square. Okay, and sort of addresses the room. It doesn't like look at you or it doesn't seem to recognize you. It obviously appears to be like a pre-programmed sort of message. And it says in Rudishvan, so Wolford, you can kind of understand what they're saying. what he's saying, and it's like a very kind of rushed, anxious voice that comes out of this Radishva, and he says, "Fellow crew members of the Shiny Beacon, the alien slime mongers have infiltrated our defenses. The Varuda nests are corrupted and have been quarantined by order of Captain Lael Jor. The loyal Varamani gather to repel the hopping hordes. Report to your designated crisis station in the weapons pod or crew chamber. Await further orders. Remain calm, for the beacon shall light the way." And then it flips off.
Wow.
Okay. At the furthest end, let's see. So it looks to be like a shield that's formed of flame, right? Like a wall of flame that kind of blocks that entire egress. But that wall of flame is broken only by an 8-foot tall, 4-foot wide oval, in which there is a holographic figure that is standing on one leg. It has 2 legs, 6 arms, each of them holding a different object. So it looks like a Varuda, but like a holographic image of it that's sort of like inside that oval that sort of breaks up the fire. You understand, right? And you're seeing that from a distance. And actually, I misspoke when I said that it was moving. It's actually just sort of hovering in the air.
Okay, so wall of fire, oval shaped something in the center. Does the fire seem to not be there? Just
it
this
is
figure?
not there. That's correct. Yeah, but the oval itself
Okay.
is taken up completely by this holographic image. You can see that there's definitely like something beyond that thing, right? But you can't. But you're at the farther end, so you can't really get a good beat.
It's not like a
Oh, gosh.
clear view through the wall of fire into the hallway beyond. It's obscured by the hologram and
Exactly.
distance.
Yeah. And it's like shimmering with heat and the whole thing. So it's like it's
Right.
just kind of hard to get a bead. Yeah.
Do we actually sense heat coming off of that wall? Is it real fire?
I guess at this distance you probably would feel a little bit of heat. Yeah. So it's definitely real fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the Varuda map we have also shows a perhaps hidden passage connecting to this room, or a cavernous passage. It looks like. Is the circlet ping on anything, John?
Oh yeah, there's that cavern that seems to go right up behind the
top
or behind the basin, and then one between the two eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that might be okay. So that I'll just tell you because so that's a natural cavern that actually goes underneath the chamber at a distance that you don't see how it sort of connects on the eastern side there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Let's see.
Yeah. So it doesn't actually connect to the transportation hub.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't realize that was confusing on the Burrito map, but yeah, I can see.
No, that makes sense.
You would think that, yeah. So there's definitely a corridor underneath there, but you just have no idea of like what the depth is, right?
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right. Well, if the Nataraj are ignoring us now, I'd like to go see what the other 3 transit hub or transit circles say they go to if they're labeled.
Sure.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. The one that is to the western wall that's south of where you came from. That one says Varumani Creation Pits. Okay. The one where where Elizabeth's body is sprawled in front of on the eastern side, on the northern end, says residential pod. Okay. And then the last one on the eastern side in the middle of the room says this one actually has a couple of glyphs. It's actually the longest description you've seen so far. It says the arena, comma, elevator access to deep space containment unit.
Okay, we know where that goes.
Unfortunately for you, none of them say Hangar Bay or Bridge or Bastion or any other one that you were hoping for.
John, can Wolford, and yeah, he just feels awful. He's beside himself at the death of this poor girl. But he's still got to figure out a way out of here. The runes along the on that kind of western wall? You said the runes on tiles along the base.
Yeah.
Can he make heads or tails of those?
They are Rudishva, yeah. It looks like they can be depressed. Like there are buttons that can be depressed into those squares. Like each of the Rudishva glyphs is sort of like a thing that can be depressed. And
This is
it
the
looks,
runes around the basin.
yeah. Yeah, and they all have. It's actually sort of. It seems you probably picked up on this already. There are a number of ways to sort of like. It's obviously they're big into monitoring their areas, right? Security, right? So similar to like what you've seen in other places already, they each correspond to like an area. Most of them Rudishva or Rudishva hegemony at least, right? So you have ones that are like Cloister, Plaza of the Veruda, the Great Pillar, the arena area, floating garden, cryogenic storage. One says the ziggurat of Kauket again. One says the sundered span. So.
Okay, well, we need to see what's going on by the arena, the elevator access, because that's an area of some interest. So unless you guys object, he's going to press that rune
Go for it.
Go
for the
nuts.
arena.
Okay. So when you okay. So when you depress that, the emerald green liquid, there actually a holographic image sort of rises out of that liquid. Right. So again, it's like like it would blow your mind if it was the first time you've seen something like this happen. But for now, it's like an old hat for you. But this holographic image, 3D in nature, this one actually shows like a vision that you're like, holy shit! Like, has this been down here the entire time? And you see the great arena of Arden Vul in all its miniature glory here in this Emerald Basin. A barrel vaulted ceiling, rough pitted walls that appear to be pebbled in nature. There you see that there are a number of gladiators that are actually in the midst of a melee on the sand floor right now. Stands, right? There's like there's loge seats for like visiting dignitaries. Just kind of picture like a grand arena in the Roman style, in full. And it looks, if you're viewing this, if this hologram is showing you what is currently happening, then there is actually a melee occurring right now in the middle of the arena. See a whole bunch of different people in the stands as well.
Is it possible to see anything that looks like a Rhodesian transit circle as like where we would arrive if we took that one?
Unfortunately not.
Yeah.
Yeah. This kind of shows you, like you would assume, sort of like the Colosseum, that there's a lot of like infrastructure that sort of surrounds and is underneath the arena. That would be called like the arena area, right? But this is clearly just showing you like the highlight, right? like the actual. Yeah.
That's fine. The key is that the transit circle isn't like, oh, that's it right there in on the winner's stand or something weird like that.
That
like,
would be amazing.
Whoa, hey everybody! That would be awkward.
Yeah.
So
Is there like a I don't know, Praetor's box or something like that, or anything?
There is, yeah.
Specific.
Oh, nice.
So there is. Let's see. Yeah. So it looks like the stands. Most of the stands are on the eastern side of it. For like the common people or whoever's like paying to get in there, and then the western side there is one smaller like obvious like viewing thing for dignitaries, right? You can't it's shadowed and it's also a hologram, so you can't quite get a beat on it, but you could swear that you could see in the recessed shadows of there, amongst other visiting dignitaries, the one that stands out is much taller than the others, slim. And before it sort of gets hazy and the figure sort of steps back into the shadows, you could swear you saw two small little horns on the tops of its head. On the top of its head.
Ah, what is he doing? I don't know his name, but it's a Rhodesian, which is really, really weird.
Yeah, it is.
And does this figure seem to be moving, John, or could it possibly be some kind of statue?
You saw it move sort of back into the shadows to the west.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I'll just give this to you as well because it's just kind of fun. You see in 3 of the 4 corners of the arena, there are manned ballistae that are pointing down into the.
Okay, John, what I would like to do, now that I know what the arena looks like and I have all the specific details that one would require, I'd like to use clairvoyance to check in on that presumed Radisha right now.
Sure.
Nice. Good thinking, David.
Well, you have to give me
That is my last charge till we rest, though. Or till a day expires, I should say.
Okay, so you put your clairvoyance into that box. So the overlook is about 40 feet off the floor. Mm-hmm. There are 3 onyx pillars that support the aperture that looks out onto the arena. There are 4 stone seats that rest in between the pillars, just at the edge of the floor. So it's sort of like, like you can look right out onto the arena. There are 2 gigantic eyes that are painted on the northwest and southwest walls of the overlook. They appear to blink regularly and scan the arena. Interestingly enough.
Interesting.
Those are cons, I bet.
Let's see. Hold on one second. I can't remember what these are look like. And of course, the one time that awesome linking script doesn't work is when I need to find out what this monster looks like. So give me 1 second because it is kind of important. Sorry.
You gonna pause, John?
No. Shut up.
You shut up.
Construct. There it is. Okay.
Would you like me to do some hold music?
Where's security construct?
He's gonna kill you next. Be careful.
Yeah, it's not helping at all.
I get that a lot.
Okay.
Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
In the west, so there is a hallway that leads out to the west, right? So the overlook itself is on the western side of the arena, but it looks like there's further quarters that are further to the west, right? So you would exit out of the overlook to the west. In that hallway to the west, you see that there is a looming figure there, quite tall, about as tall as a Radishva. It is obviously made out of some sort of steel or titanium, or you don't know, some sort of like highly polished alloy of some sort, but it is cloaked in actually. No, it wouldn't be. No. Did you? So I remember telling you guys this. So what you're looking at is basically one of the Radishva security constructs. It looks like almost like a Terminator, basically, right?
Which shouldn't be moving because we deactivated.
That's correct. Yeah. So it is standing against the wall, and its head is down. As you're looking, Upior, you see what is definitely an actual live, the first one that you've ever seen, a live Radishva, tall, wearing a jumpsuit, right? Has a laser pistol strapped like a Han Solo sort of cowboy, like, loose on the hip sort of thing on his side, right? Is wearing a scarf around his neck that almost looks like more like aesthetic than anything else, and he walks with like a very fine air of like refinement, right? It's like he's you see him he's got his hands behind his back, his long 3-clawed hand, hands behind his back as he sort of saunters out of the room. He stops by his construct and he sort of knocks on its head again. And you see him just sort of like frown a little bit. And he actually shouts something back to, let me go back. Sorry. Back. Where are you? There you are. He shouts something to, what appears to be a small little person that's still in the overlook. And looking back with your clairvoyance, Upior, you see that is a female goblin who is dressed in the simple tunic of a servant. And you see the servant and she just sort of like shrugs like that, like really obviously. And you see the Radishva just sort of go, just sort of nod his head like, and then moves off into the darkness.
Fascinating.
Were we able to access the constructs with the wristband?
I have to look that up every time you ask me.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so Ted, write this shit down.
Oh.
Come on, Ted.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna make it very plain. Because I'm tired of being coy about it.
Yep.
First of all, it has all the functions of a communication bracelet, which you don't have right now, and that one's really simple. You can wear it on your wrist, and you can either decipher any speech in any language, or communicate to another bracelet within 25 miles. Okay. You have to choose one or the other. Can't do both at the same time. Okay, so that's what a communication bracelet does. So the command bracelet has all the functions of that, plus all the cool shit.
Okay.
It allows you to issue binding commands in Rudishva, to be clear. So you would have to have Wolford guide you to any technological device capable of receiving commands. Devices include Rudishva security constructs, Rudishva battle robots, portable medical units, point defense arrays, and all devices from the Nutrivore, Nucoder, Crud Ore, and Composite Scan companies.
Nucoder,
Nutrivore, which are the two that you guys have encountered.
Yeah.
Crud Ore and Composite Scan companies. Okay. You can direct them.
Constructs, battle bots, point defense,
medical units.
Medical units.
Yeah. All right. In the case of constructs and robots, which is basically what you're most concerned with, you can direct them from a distance of 100 feet through voice-activated commands.
Okay. That would answer my next question.
You can also override any previously programmed defense protocols that have been installed in those constructs and robots. In the case of mechanical devices, like all those company stuff, the units, the portable medical units, that sort of stuff, you can operate them remotely from a distance of 100 feet. Okay.
Very, very useful item.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm making you in charge of bringing that up to me anytime.
Okay, got it.
That I need to know.
So the I can't, like, if I'm understanding this right, use the communication feature of the bracelet to communicate with a construct that's somewhere else in Arden Vul. It has to be up close.
It has to be. You can only communicate with someone that is also wearing command bracelet. Okay, and you can only issue commands to mechanical things that are within 100 feet, basically.
Yeah. So I can't right now, just to be a jerk, activate that construct and tell it to kill everyone it sees.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you think that you are within 100 feet of the arena right now.
Only one way to find out.
Okay.
Anyway, so Upior relays that what he's seeing with the clairvoyance. Again, you're not getting any sound through that, Upior, but you can turn around and you can't help but do it, of course, right? Because you're like actually looking inside the arena and you see like the full thing sort of happening. You know what I mean? It's pretty fucking awesome. You know, there's blood on the sand and wearing your crazy helmets and weird weapons and nets and tridents and all that stuff. Yeah.
Does he see Njal? Is Njal okay? Is Njal down there?
Well, there is someone down there in the sand that has the same build as Njal, but that's not saying much, right? Because these whoever they are down there are clad in all sorts of strange stuff. It'd be tough to tell.
I don't see Geralad anywhere, do I?
Don't see Geralad.
Oh wait, so I was lost in my grief. Did David see or did he not see what might be the entrance to this elevator thing? He was looking for the person, but we did not. Okay.
No.
And
the clairvoyance is in a fixed spot, so he's basically stuck in that overlook.
Yeah, he can like look around, but not
correct
travel. Okay. Okay. I know we have been wanting to go back to the containment place. Like we think that's where the pods are, right? Like the long-term storage pods. The place
you know that for a fact because of the viewings you've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just making sure I got the nomenclature. So the one of the places that we can now go is if we go to the arena and can find the elevator, it takes us to the deep space containment unit, the place that we first discovered with all of the the bodies in the pods with Olin Axamander shoved in
Right.
Right. And so we can go there and we can grab the droid. But obviously the big obstacle there is if it's in the middle of the arena, right? We'll be seen by everybody. There's a possibility there though.
Well,
We do have 4 remaining invisibility pellets. We originally had 6. We've used 2 of them. I just checked our quartermaster sheet. We have 4 of those. If we pull it off of Lisbeth's charred finger, we also have the ring of friendly defense,
Right.
which can make somebody invisible, but they'd be blind. So we could just use those 4 beads, all 4 of us be invisible. Look around there for the elevator, ignore everybody, and take the elevator to the containment unit if we wanted to.
So with regards to that plan, there are a couple of things that I don't that maybe I just want to make sure that you guys are clear in your head so that you can weigh things properly. Never forget about your palimpsest of civilizations, right? The timelines that happen here. I give you a hint there that the arena had pebbled, oily walls.
Yep.
It is quite likely that the arena originally was Heketi,
Yep.
right? So it's very unlikely that if the arena has been in use as an arena through all the ensuing ages, that the Rodishva would place a hub like right in the middle of the fucking arena.
Right.
Right, for one thing. 2 is the actual plaque on the teleporter that leads to the arena, which, as I said, was rather strange in the fact that it was clear to point out that it says the arena as the main thing, but then there's a sub thing that says and elevator access to deep space containment units, as if they're like close by, right?
Right. So I don't remember seeing an elevator at the deep space containment unit, but we didn't have a card, and there was at least one door we didn't open.
Someone
well,
did, though.
The way that
Sorry,
Aklacha, I remember the way that Aklacha described it.
That's what it was. Yeah.
It sounded like that door that we couldn't open. That kind of, I think it was off to the north or something.
Yeah. She was clear about
It's
it too.
probably
She
elevator.
specifically described that wasn't that beyond that door was an elevator.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to just pop through and see if we can find the elevator? Appraise once we're on the other side.
I do. The thing I'm worried about is running into that Radishvan, because if they've got a command key, there's no running away from them, and they'll know their way around and they'll come after us. Which might not be the worst thing, but
I mean, if they detect us, right? If we're invisible and we appear, we won't be seen.
My point of
Right,
saying we could look on the other side was just to say, like, for instance, we could use the ring of friendly defense before using our consumable beads. One person who's invisible could go through, scope it out, tell us to come, after them. If we need to be invisible, we do so prior. If we don't, we just go and we save the beads for an emergency. You know what I mean? In other words, it doesn't sound like the arena and the elevator are connected. They're just, let's say maybe there's a sub hub that is a Y juncture with 2 different teleportations that we're about to find on the other side. I don't know that we would, but you know what I mean? Like, up to y'all.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a chance we may go there and it may be right there. It may be easy to find. There's another chance that it may not be easy to find at all, in which case we might need to, I don't know if we're going to spend our time like looking for it, or if we, want to give it a certain amount of time and then rush back through. We think that it connects to the Goblin Market. We know that the arena is kind of to the east of that Goblin Market area, from what I recall. So
which would make sense because there's the black doors there in the Goblin Market.
David was saying, though, correct me if I'm wrong, David, is like you wouldn't even need to. You're just sending one person through to just see what's there, and then you can further plan further after that.
And they can plan from there.
Yeah, if you want to.
I think it would. Yeah, I don't think it would be wise to those beads are very, very valuable items.
Yep.
and going through the arena isn't the only way to get to the the cryo chambers, the deep spaces
Okay,
over Earth. Right.
I'm totally down with that plan. Let's just decide between Upior and Wolford, and I guess Barrios, who's going to wear the other ring.
I
Should we
can wear
just
the other
roll
one
so it's
because I'm
quick?
not as useful. Or sure.
Well, Barrios,
Not as useful. You're a 7th level wizard.
Not yet.
Barrios would happily wear the other ring, and Mort would volunteer to go through invisibly for sure.
All right. Let's do that then.
Okay, so who's wearing who's wearing the blind ring?
Barrios will put it on, the one that Elizabeth had on.
Okay, Mort's going to go through.
Yeah.
They'll turn invisible.
Also,
They'll go through. My guess is that if it holds true what we've seen with all the other transit things, is you'll go through and there'll be a little niche and another niche right across from it.
Well, let's find out, shall we?
And
Because you just stepped in it.
That's
Okay.
my guess.
guys, let's just say we gather up all of Elizabeth's stuff too, because if this happens real quick, we don't want to abandon her.
Okay, well, that first, I need you,
there.
if you're going to gather up all her stuff, I need you to figure out slots and where it's going and all that sort of stuff.
Right. Well, we still have the rug. Should we put, should we just quickly put her stuff in the,
apart from the ring,
Right.
does she have anything else we immediately need? I guess there's Yakin's bones.
she's got some really good stuff. I think the stuff that we really need to keep with us, a Thoth holy symbol. We need that. That comes up quite often. She has the two rods that we recently found, the gold and the platinum rod. Put that in.
Are you keeping those?
We use.
Yeah, okay.
Right? We're holding on to them, so they're on our persons.
We should keep those. Yeah.
The ring of friendly defense. She has an amulet of aquatic creature bones, but nobody needs that. Shrieker. Somebody should take Shrieker, because then we can do the alarm spell, which is fairly good. And the coffer with Yakin's bones.
Okay, and what are you going to do with her body?
I mean, I think we should take her back to the pyramid with the. I mean, Yost and Avaricios's bodies. I guess I don't know if we took them out or if they're still there.
You did, we discussed. I think you put those into the niche back where you found Clavum in the crypts. The corpses. It's not viable for very long in the pyramid because there's no air. So it quickly makes the stash like very, very nasty.
Okay.
So are you trying to take her back there?
Barrios can carry all that stuff if you want.
Okay. Yeah, let's give it to Barrios.
All right,
The
so
rods
again,
each take one slot, right, John?
I would assume so. All right, so I'm going to say a turn pass for the combat, a turn passes for looting and sorting the Elizabeth's gear. So again, what are you doing with the corpse? I just need to know.
I think we have to just leave it here for now. I don't think there's anything we can do with it, right?
Yeah, we can put it in the pyramid and then go get it later when we can do something with it. But we don't want to.
We have to get all this other. We have to get all this other stuff too. So
yeah, I misunderstood. I thought John basically said we couldn't leave it there. It would defile.
You can. I'm just saying it's like a temporary solution before it starts to get really nasty.
Yeah,
right.
You know. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do that.
All right, there she goes. Okay. And you take her valuable stuff, and it's on Barrios now. I will assume, unless you tell me otherwise.
Yeah, I made a note of what he's carrying.
Okay. So
Wolford's going to pull like a little polite shroud for her with little flowers on it.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so it is 11:40 in the morning now, and we will take our first break, and we will be right back to see what Mort sees on the other side of that teleportation circle.
All right.
We'll be right back. All right, we are back. Bladders empty, beers full. All right, Mort, invisible. Barrios blind behind them. Steps into the teleportation circle and disappears. Mort, you reappear in a dark room, but you have your infravision going. Okay, there is you are indeed stepping out of a portal. The egress heads towards the west out of the little niche, and you find yourself in a actually, what is it? Is it plasteel? I think it is. No, white marble. So a chamber gleaming with white marble, no 90-degree angles. And it is, the dimensions are basically 35 feet east to west and about 20 feet north to south. Okay. The niche is about 5 feet, is actually about 10 feet. It basically straddles the 10-foot line on the eastern side of the chamber. Okay. There is a 5-foot wide white marble corridor that heads directly south from the eastern side of the southern wall.
Eastern side of southern wall.
Yeah, you got it. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Now, in the room itself, it's pretty cool. In the center of the room, there are 3 orange plasteel benches that surround a 5-foot diameter sunken spot in the floor. Whatever was once in that basin, if there was anything, is long gone. All right, but there are 3 benches that surround it. Beyond it,
Sort of like so.
actually more towards the center of the room, like they're more closely compact, because on the western side of the room there is a let's see, there appears to be, so how to put this, there is a slab of blue granite which is perfectly level with the white marble floor that you're on, and it almost touches all of the walls on the western side, but not quite, right? So it's like a perfect blue granite slab that is flush with the floor, but is not quite touching all of the walls. All right.
Like this.
Yeah, but it's a little bit wider. It's
Is it inside the room or does it make up the wall?
so that you see the wall, it's inside the room. On the floor, there is this slab of granite. What the fuck?
So it's like a rug, but rock.
Hold on a second.
It's a rock rug.
It is 10 feet by 20 feet.
Yeah, roughly that.
And you see that directly above that blue granite slab in the ceiling, in those precise dimensions of the blue granite slab, there is no ceiling. There's a shaft that goes up.
Is it an elevator?
On the south wall, next to that slab, there is an inlay of lapis, and it shows a 6-inch diameter orb that is surrounded by 3 smaller orbs, 2 inches in diameter each. You've never seen it before. All right. And in the center of the blue granite slab, there is a similar lapis inlay in size in the center of that slab. It shows a 1-foot orb with 3 4-inch orbs surrounding it in the same sort of motif, though, but larger in that slab.
So one large circle and 4 smaller circles. Is that right?
One large and three smaller ones surrounding it.
1 large and 3 smaller.
Yeah.
Which could represent the cryo thing, I guess. All right. Well, so there's 3 benches around a pit, you said?
Yeah.
And there's nothing in the pit.
But it's like super shallow. It's like 5 foot. It's like a sunken spot in the floor. It looks like it used to be like a basin of some sort, but nothing's in it right now.
Okay.
Now,
And then there's a slab with a hollow shaft above it.
correct. Yeah.
And a corridor going south.
The corridor going south. Now, when you look to your left and you look down that corridor, you see as well that it actually ends after 20 feet. So basically where you have it, Ted. But at the end of that corridor, it's very strange. A 5-foot diameter circle has been cut out of the white marble in the wall. And beyond that circle in the wall are some carved bits of stone that are closed over the opening in like a very weird way. If you had to say it, it almost looks like you're looking at, like, as if you were in the inside of a mouth and looking at the backs of teeth that are sort of like interlocked.
That's horrible.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's on the southern end of the corridor, or that's on one of the sidewalls?
On the southern end of the corridor, yeah. There's
Okay.
also a 12-inch long and half-inch wide slot that is set in the lip of that circle. And you see no other means of egress.
All right.
I have a question for Upior. Upior, when you looked with your magic eye thingy,
Yes.
you saw two eyes or one? Do you remember?
2 eyes.
Was
That
it
intermittently?
Did it make a face? Could this be the mouth of a big like face that those eyes are the eyes of?
I don't know, John.
You don't know. You guys aren't there either, so don't forget. Just Mort by himself.
We're just inside one of the heads of the giant Arden Vul statues, guys.
That role play was just speculative then.
Last little detail, Mort, that you'd probably be able to pick up since you're a seasoned adventurer at this point. You're in the dark. Don't forget. No means of egress. Everything is very, very quiet. Interestingly enough, though, is that the room is relatively free of dust.
Yeah.
There's debris. It's definitely not like something where a gelatinous cube has been through here or a Rudishva Roomba or anything like that. So like there's but it's definitely, you just get the feeling that based upon the fact that it's not like you're not like coughing with dust that's been disturbed for millennia, that something has been through here within the recent past, enough that dust has not collected in large amounts.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's it.
Quick scamper over just to look up the shaft. Make sure there's not like vampire bats up there waiting to jump out when I bring their guys through.
Indeed, you don't. It goes up as far as you can see, as the limits of your infravision, 60 feet. You don't see any heat signatures at all, and you also don't see any indications of long disuse. So you don't see like any cobwebs or anything like that, right? Any cracking or anything like that. Appears to be relatively clean.
Does the side of the slab have like wear or scoring or anything that suggests that it goes up into that channel?
Tough to tell because the slab itself is flush into the floor. Like you could literally just step.
See.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go back through the teleport circle.
Okay. Mort reappears. Well, they don't know you reappear, but you're invisible.
Yes, I will uninvisible myself and describe the earthly paradise that I've discovered, and milk and honey and virgins of all kinds for everyone who wants one, and that sort of thing, and wine, mead, everything they could possibly want. And if they buy it, then great. If they probably don't, though. I'm guessing.
Do we have to listen to you to go through the damn thing
No,
and see
you
where the
don't.
thing
You
goes?
can just go through.
Okay.
I think it's probably fine.
I'm having a really bad day now, so let's get a move on.
But if you don't see any earthly pleasures on the other side, that's because you were mean to me. Okay?
Well, you deserve it. Let's go.
I know.
And don't forget too, like I've given you a description of the translocation hub, but you guys have all basically since Elizabeth's death been sort of in that northern part. Like you've investigated like the basin, you know what I mean? Like you haven't gone down to the door or anything. The fiery.
That's true, Matt. We forgot about the Obsidian Gate that you wanted to go see.
I've lost my joy for life.
I know. I understand.
I laugh heartily from the GM's chair.
I'll send you my tears in the test tube.
Okay. Yeah, let's go through.
Well, okay. Before we do, while he's gone, Wolford's going to go back to the glyphs,
All right.
and he's going to check all the glyphs that correspond to our key locations that we're thinking about going to. Right now, the next one obviously is the long-term containment unit. He wants to see if there's anything like live and actually happening there.
No, that seems to be completely inert. Everything's quiet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, I'm. Unless you want to ask Akla Cha before we leave the transit hub if she knows anything about that hologram that's in that wall of fire.
That's a really good idea. We can communicate with her with my two-way wrist radio I got from Dick Tracy. I'll ask Akla Cha if I got two questions, one about the firewall and one about the blue slab. Let me start with the blue slab. I want to describe the symbols and the slab and ask, is that the elevator? What do the symbols mean? And do you know how to operate it?
She says, "Oh, I'm happy to help, of course." She tells you that symbol is it's a abstract depiction of the Rudishva homeworld and its moons. You have simply to let me check my instructions here. Actually, let's see. Okay. Yeah, all you have to do is you step. The blue slab is indeed the elevator. All you need to do is step onto it and step onto the inlay, the lapis inlay, and the elevator will travel to its destination upwards to the deep space.
And how many stops does it make? Just one?
Only one. Yep.
Okay. All right. And the wall. What's up with the firewall here in the transit hub?
Also, too, she tells you just because she's thorough, because you didn't tell her. The smaller inlay on the southern wall next to the thing calls the elevator if it's not already there.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
And you're asking about the fiery wall.
Yeah.
So she says that that is actually to prevent anyone from accessing one of the major translocation hubs without proper identification. She says if anyone bearing a high-level officer's identity plaque will be granted access. And she tells you this. I don't know if you've actually gotten this information before. The high-level ones are orange, silver, and yellow, which you all have, which is fantastic. But she says that there is a special version of the Nataraja Guardian that was a product of the learning that they have, that the Rudishva learned after having crashed here. So it's sort of like a techno-sorceress apparition trap that's sort of been infused into the wall. And anyone who does not have the proper plaques will be relentlessly attacked by unerring balls of flame that are thrown by the dancer in the wall.
I mean, the airing ones were pretty bad. Is that bad enough?
Actually, I have another
Unairing
question
sounds terrible.
Which is, I heard from a guy who was telling me about my wristband here that there is such a thing as a medical device of some kind. I assume some alien machine that heals people. Can it bring back the dead? Reanimate?
The Rudishva did not, although they, of course, they attempted to. They have never discovered the secrets of bringing the dead back from life that I am aware of.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't figure. All right.
Ready for that?
What do you think, Matt? You want to go look at the Obsidian portal, David?
We've all got our cards. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Elizabeth gave her life. Let's at least make it worth something.
Just so you're aware, too,
Right.
just to go back to that last point that she made, it's an interesting thing that she is not aware of their ability to do that. However, you have seen that there have been attempts, right? Because you've encountered those undead Rudishva skeletons and things like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Which is not the same as bringing Elizabeth back to life.
Very true. Yes. Yeah.
Or
This is
squeegee,
very
for
true.
that matter.
But it does look like that was on their minds, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so everyone's going to the elevator. Is that correct?
No, we went to go with our passes showing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go check out the that portal through that firewall. Hey, it's a firewall. Hey.
Okay, so
I get
Barrios
it.
has
I
one.
get it.
Everyone has one now, including Barrios.
Yeah, we're all packing.
Okay, yeah. So when you approach, the dancer in the actually starts to come to life and slowly starts to move in the oval frame, sort of, and you can hear like a cold voice issue from it, and it says, "Identification, please." And you hold forth your plaques, and it says,
Multipass.
"Access
Multipass.
granted." And the dancers winks out of existence, and so the fire is still there, but the opening is clear. Okay, and you can see it looks out although it's still sort of hazy. It looks out onto, it looks to be a wide section of the Midnight Road. Like you can see the black granite octagonal tiles with the frieze, at waist height that kind of goes off in either direction. And there appears to be, trying to see like what you would kind of see through there, because it isn't lit. So, yeah, I would
We
say
have
it's
our
like,
lights with us, though.
yeah, but I'm saying that there's still like it's still like a border there, right? Like it's not like just like a clear
Okay.
window, but it looks like you could step through if you wanted to.
I think we should.
Let's do it. Yeah, it was my idea. I'll step through.
Okay, I'm gonna say the investigation of the elevator and everything took a turn as well.
Your body is immolated.
Yeah, it's kind of
Why
a weird
not?
thing.
Let's go twofer.
You do have to actually kind of like quell a little bit of fear because you kind of have to like lift a leg and sort of step through the portal, because there's like fire sort of surrounding it, so it's a little bit hairy, but you step through and you find yourself on the Midnight Road. All right. Now, this is pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff going on here. All right. So, Ted, you're using your Verta map to sort of indicate it. Now, the first thing that you notice when you step out onto that road is that you see before you, directly ahead of you to the southeast, finally, the fabled Obsidian Gates. All right.
Yes.
So these things are something else. They are 20. They rise 20 feet from the floor. Massive things. They, the moment you step through the portal, you are assaulted by by palpable waves of magic and evil, emanating obviously from the doors themselves. Upior, you feel an unconscious urge to rip off the iron circlet off your brow. It's the feeling is so intense with you, like the iron circlet, right? Each of the two doors has a 4-foot tall glyph that is incised into it, that is of a language that you do not know. Wolford would, but it's not Rudishva. The glyphs themselves pulse softly with an obscene brown light, which comes off of the doors themselves. There are keyholes that are 1.5 inches in diameter that extend into each one of the doors. All right.
Just 2 keyholes?
One on each of the doors, yeah. And remember, they're 20 feet tall, like two stories high, right? Like huge doors, made out of solid obsidian. Okay. Directly in front of you, between you and the Obsidian Gate, like right in the middle of the road, there is it's littered with gear that you kind of have to step through. There's several odd lengths of rope that are just sort of scattered around, right? There's a rusty pickaxe, a couple of hammers. There is a 5-foot wooden ladder with some broken rungs, a bullseye lantern without oil, and the one thing that you can pick up is of that value that's just sort of scattered amongst all the rest of it, just sort of. And remember, it's not heaped into piles, just scattered, like But one thing that you can see is there is an identity plaque which you have not seen before. This one is copper.
Huh. Okay, I'll pick it up.
All right.
Interesting. Scattered in the sense of just randomly strewn about, or like blasted away from the door?
Randomly strewn about. There are also scorch marks on the black granite on the ground around you.
Uh-huh. And
like from the Radishvan trap there, probably blasted the hell out of people.
Indeed, when that sort of enters your mind that may be what occurs, you look to your right, so towards the south end, towards the southwest down the Midnight Road, and you see just beyond the intersection there that there is the scorched and desiccated bodies of 6 bipedal creatures and 2 segmented, centipedal or like tentacled things. Actually, you've come across them before. You can tell that these are the 2 carcasses of 2 carrion crawlers. that are in the middle of the hallway there. And they are actually look to be both the bodies of the carrion crawlers and the bipeds look to be riddled with look to be like bullet holes.
But scorched as well, like scorched by
Yeah,
the door guardian.
yeah.
Firepot scorched.
Possibly.
Well, actually, yeah. The scorching actually doesn't look like it was from like a massive burn. It looks like there's like precise scorch incisions into the body.
Lasers.
Possibly, yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, we've seen lasers hit members of our own party.
No, I think those were
Avaricious,
Gauss bullets we got, not lasers, right? From the
They're-
droids.
I don't know if it was a targeting laser or something that got an Axamander. I think,
Oh, it was. We did see an axe get it with a laser, didn't we?
yeah,
Yeah, you did.
I think so.
So they're about like 10 feet down the corridor there. So you would kind of have to get a little bit closer to kind of get a beat on what kind of bodies you're looking at there. But
Okay.
yeah.
What do we see to the northeast?
Yeah, that and also look straight up. If all this seems like climbing gear, so I'm curious if somebody may have fallen like down here.
To the northeast, the only thing that you can make out that's of interest is that there seems to be a relatively steady, but it grades up and down an orange-yellow light. But I'm just telling you that because it's obviously not torchlight, but it has that same color of torchlight, like of fire, right? But it's just more of like a softly pulsing kind of coming from the northeast, but and it varies every once in a while in color temperature.
Was
Oh, that
when
would
we saw
be
the
from those.
spirits that were there? Weren't they different colors of light?
From beyond them, yes, they were. Yes, they were. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice recall there. Mark.
Wilford remembers from the map. There's like fire pits of creation, so there's probably
Indeed.
Oh yeah,
the
that
glow
makes
that we're
sense.
seeing from those. All right. Well, yeah. Does he see anything if he looks up, John? Like, I'm curious about all this stuff. Like, did anything fall down?
Okay, so nothing fell down, Wolford, but it is actually cool that you said that you look up. Because when you're looking up and you look up above where the corpses are, down towards the southwest, you see that there is lining the ceiling and then so it's like lining the ceiling like across the Midnight Road, all right? And then on the same line down that northern wall, all right? You see on the ceiling there are 3 hardened beads of crystal, and then there are 3 hardened beads of crystal along the northern wall that go from the ceiling down to the floor. Do you understand? So it sort of forms like an L. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
In the middle of the hallway. So
Yeah,
like
in the middle of the hallway,
L.
directly above the bodies, right? There are 3 hardened beads of crystal at regular intervals across the ceiling.
Okay.
And then there are 3 regular at the same intervals along the wall. So it's like above you and then down the side.
Like,
Okay.
are they positioned with the bodies such that if a carrion crawler were just wandering down the Midnight Road, it would be the laser thing would go beep, and that would be the end of that?
Yes, yeah.
Critter?
Yeah, correct.
All right. And how far down that hallway is it? Is this like 20 feet?
It's only about like 10, 15 feet down from like the
It's not
from the western edge of that fiery door of the fiery.
it's not that far.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to. I'll wave the other guys in since I don't see anything or I don't hear anything coming. Right? It seems quiet in here.
It seems it's quiet. Yeah. But it's very unpleasant to be in the presence of the Obsidian Gates, and I can't make it more clear that the Obsidian Gates are not of Rudishva make. Right. Like there's everything beyond them, like where you're standing, which is clearly Rudishva, although it's Midnight Road Rudishva, which is very different. And then the Obsidian Gates themselves. So the glyphs on the thing are, I'll give you this, Wolford. The helm, they are so ancient and old and powerful that the helm cannot translate them into modern Arcantian. Like they don't have any sort of way to, they don't have any corresponding like phrase, right? Actually, you know what? Let me double check that. Okay. I lied. I'll give you something because you do have the helm. First of all, it's clear that the glyphs are Hiketi, if you didn't already guess. All right.
Okay.
Glyphs are Hiketi. Okay. On one of the doors, the glyph appears as a V imposed over two connected circles. All right. And you know that is is the Hiketi symbol for hail. The other glyph on the other door appears as a narrow upside down U with small carets, like CARET, right? Small carets attached to each arm of the U. So it's an upside down U, narrow, and then there's like these little feet on the bottom. Right? Can you kind of picture that?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, that stands for okay, that one is palpably it's so hard to like describe this with the correct adjectives, is so much more palpably evil than the other one, which appears to be a direct Hiketi word, right? This one is obviously of deep black magic, right? Like really ancient, really bad, and it has no direct translation. You do not know what it means. In fact, your mind reels in attempting to comprehend it. Like the helm just sort of like rejects it from your mind.
So almost as if it's like something like my thought process is like a name. Like a name of an evil, super evil being would probably
very possible
mess with your head.
That is a very wise
something
assumption.
Like this. Mm-hmm. And it would go with hail. That would make sense.
Yeah, I had the same thought.
I don't like that, not one bit. No, I don't. But I'll wave people in to see if they want to take a look. He'll tell them it feels really bad in here. And while they're coming in, he's going to use his grappling hook on some of those bodies and start just reeling them in. He'd start with the humans who might have something useful first.
Yeah, okay.
And just see what happens when he tosses the grappling hook and pulls them over.
So it takes a turn to get the bodies.
Not necessarily human, right? You said they were bipeds, not necessarily human.
Bipeds,
yeah, correct.
Okay.
So we'll say that takes a turn. That puts you squarely at noon. Don't mind me at all. Nothing happening here at all.
I'm sure it's fine.
They're by the time you guys all collect, Rolfer gives you the update, and you have the bodies in front of you. So the corpses are this. There are two. What did I say?
Yeah, six bipedal creatures and two carrion crawlers.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess you didn't. Okay. So there's actually 5. Sorry. 2 of them are adventurers. One is a goblin. One is an Arcantian soldier, and one is an armorless, like not wearing any armor, Varumani. All right. It's very obvious when you kind of bring them over that the corpses of the Varumani and the Arcantian soldier are way more ancient than the 2 adventurers and the goblin. Okay.
So 2 human adventurers.
2 human adventurers, yeah. Now, on the... I'm assuming you're searching the bodies?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. On the Varumani, there is an oblong piece of bronze about a 1/4 inch thick and 3 inches wide, 8 inches long. You've seen this before. You've gotten them from Killick, I believe. Is a Troll Thane passport. One side is stamped with the image of a grinning Varumani face. The other on the reverse is a hammer. Now, this corresponds to what you already have in your stash, or if you have in your purpose. I don't think you're carrying them right now. But you can tell that this one is really, really fucking old. Like, really old. And you just have a feeling based upon what you've learned about the Varumani culture that they would probably value this just as a relic in itself. Okay, it would probably pass as a passport, but also would be like an item of historical significance to them. The ancient Arcantian soldier, all of his equipment is basically useless, but he does the one piece of non-deteriorating thing on him, which does glow in the light of the iron circlet of Ganor, Upior, is a large ring. It almost looks like a class ring on one of his bony fingers.
All right.
Okay.
You want to give me a page number, John, for these things?
This is 351 for everything. All right, so the ring
I'll
on
look
him.
at it. Does it say anything if we look at it?
It doesn't say anything on it. No. It's very beautiful though.
I'll slip it on and see what happens.
You feel as if you're more protected
Oh.
by a
Nice.
substantial amount.
Ooh.
Okay, so he corrects himself here. So there was 2 goblins, 2 adventurers, 2 goblins. The goblins between them have a total of just 8 copper pieces, a short sword, and a steel helmet. not
Typical.
That's very goblin-y.
Yeah. Sorry, Mort. Yet another opportunity for goblin-sized armor goes
I
away.
kicked their corpses.
One of the the adventure has some ring mail, a longsword, a pouch with 32 SP and 5 GP. The only thing of value on one of the adventures of that adventure is he has a spinel, a deep blue spinel that is worth 500 GP. The other adventure looks like they were probably a magic user of some sort. There has an iron shod staff which does not glow. Oop, you are. But has a belt pouch with 2 glowing potions.
Okay.
And he has a coin purse with a smattering of stuff, but it's of coins. But I'm not even going to bother because it's so beyond your need right now. Unless you really do you want
Potion?
coins.
You said?
No.
Or 2 potions?
2 potions.
2 potions.
Now the one super interesting bit that was on that adventure, and again the adventurers and the goblins are more recent, right? There is a hard bit of grayish matter that has strange markings on it. When you look at it, you can see that the grayish matter looks to be Rudishva plasteel, like a shard of it. Gray though, and it looks the strange markings on it are strangely enough not Rudishva; they are Mithric inscribed on this. Okay, and it simply says the number 3 equals strange dormitory, 4 equals danger, one of the survivors. Okay, and that's what's on those dudes.
Huh.
Interesting.
Like the hard gray matter is...
It's definitely plasteel. It's like gray Rudishva plasteel.
Yeah, so it's like a melted fragment or a broken fragment?
A broken fragment, yeah.
Makes you wonder where the rest of it is. Okay. So as we step through the firewall into the presence of the Obsidian portal, and Barrios has what we believe are 2 rods for opening this thing, do they do anything? Do they start to hum or pull towards the door or anything creepy like that?
The golden platinum rods,
Yeah.
nothing. Nothing happens with them.
Similar, John, Wolfhard has in his hand at the ready frog catcher, which is the Heketi made or Heketi clad spear.
Mm-hmm.
Does that feel weird or any vibes going on with that thing?
No vibes, but it's always been sort of unpleasant to kind of hold, just because it's Heketi.
Yeah.
So
A
we're
little greasy on it.
we're opening this door, right? Right.
When you kind of get close to the door, the glyphs, like the brown sort of light and all that kind of stuff, it actually kind of gives you anyone who approaches like a sense of nausea, in addition to your regular unease.
I think if we open that door, we'll instantly die.
I do too. I don't want to open it anymore.
You don't want to try? Oh, come on, guys.
This is your chance.
You don't want
reach
to
the-
open this door and release the ancient evils of Arden Vul upon its unwitting populations.
Is the unpronounceable name Pandora, John? Because I think it probably means that.
No, I guarantee this whole door is a Rickroll, man. You're going to open it up, and it's going to be just a Rhodesian video screen on the other side. Yeah, I don't want to open it anymore. It seemed like really fun up until we got close to it and got nauseous, and that doesn't
This
sound
is the
fun.
this is the most fun that could possibly exist. Get a little nauseous and brown.
Briefly.
Come on.
You know how mad Mike would be if we killed the whole party while he was away?
He'll come back all by himself. Hey guys, what? Guys, guys.
All
I'm
going to say is, are you going to really leave one of the most mythic features of the entire dungeon alone and walk away? Perhaps the most repeated mystery that we've heard in the 2+ years we've played the game. We're going to leave them closed.
Well, that does beg a question. Do we have...
We have one with us, 1 gold and 1 platinum.
Hold on,
and John, you said
I have a...
Actually,
okay.
the relevant question is, David, how much did John pay you to tempt us in this way?
It should be tempting in and of itself.
I believe the person who led us down this path was you, Matt. He's just paying me to get you killed. All right, don't worry about it.
So, just looking at my notes about our library, we've got 2 books that reference it. The First History of the Order of Thoth and Arden Vul, and the Ancient Ones, both of which mention the Obsidian Gates. But basically what they say is they wanted to open it, but they couldn't. Which begs 2 questions. One is, we just stumbled across these gold rods, man. This stuff's just lying around. Maybe we don't open it the way we think we do. The other one is, if they got here and it didn't radiate palpably evil and make them nauseous, why not? Or it did and they wanted to open it anyway, which I suppose is certainly the sort of Arcantian thing to do.
Do you pull out the rods to examine them? Or
yeah.
Okay, when you pull them out, you can see that they themselves are 1.5 inches in diameter each.
Yeah, but perhaps
we knew that.
You need 6 of them locked together to shove them through, or perhaps there's one end is the good end and it opens, the other end is the bad end and it explodes. We
don't have any clue. So, John, just to get this correctly, there are only 2 holes in the 2 doors. There's 1 in each door.
1 in each door. That's correct. Yeah.
And those holes, how high up are they?
They are like man height, like 4 feet.
Man height.
Let me out. I can't do it.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
All
it
right.
is time to take our second break. I'll let them hesitate while we take a break, and then we'll come back with a firm decision about what they're going to do with the Obsidian Gates. We will be right back. All right, bladders empty, beers full. All right, so you can see here on Miro that Ted has brought part of the explored section of what he thinks connects, possibly. So
I don't know that I have it placed exactly right, but my current operating hypothesis is that Hecate corridor that we found, the northwest-southeast direction at the crossroads there, looks like it's going to connect pretty directly to the Obsidian Gates.
Yeah.
Suggesting to me possibly that we don't need to go through the doors because we've already seen on the other side, or could easily get at it without touching these evil doors. Yeah. Although it's possible that there is a whole room right there that maybe has gates on both sides.
Yeah. And see, what I speculate is that immediately behind those doors, there's a level change. There's either stairs or an elevator or a transport hub or something that takes you down, probably to that pyramid, that ziggurat that we've been seeing.
Which is a great assumption that it connects to the ziggurat. We know the Rhodesians fought with the Hecate, and I got the impression from something we saw that they actually fought at the ziggurat. Like, the war, they took it all the way straight down to the Hecate, home base, as it were.
Yeah.
Which would make sense if they've got their protected transit hub directly across from the entrance to the Hecate, homeworld. Anyway, it looks like bad news all around, guys.
Yeah,
sounds like we should open it.
I think it's bad news. Here's what I don't think we should open it. I don't want to open it without I'm driving David crazy. But I will do this. I will do this. I'm always Mr. Compromise, and I'm also so curious, so curious. Wolford will tie a rope around his waist. He wants to walk up, and he wants to, if he can do it without passing out or throwing up or whatever, he wants to look in the keyholes. He wants to see if there's any indication of gold or platinum. Like, is there any difference between these two? So he's gonna with a rope around his waist, the other end to Mort. He's nice and strong. He's gonna you know what? He's also going to ask Gupio to hold the command tablet while he does this, just to make sure we don't lose that.
All
but
right.
I guess I'm tied with a rope anyway, but just to make sure.
So, John, as a matter of just policy and procedure, if Wolf dies right now, does he play Barrios?
He would, yeah. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Wolford, are you touching the doors?
I'm not going to touch those doors, John. No way am I touching those doors.
So you're just sort of hunched down and you're kind of just peering through the thing, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So you can't. Well, so when you peer through the 1.5 inch, I mean that's a decent size, right? So you can kind of peer into that hole. First of all, you can't see through, right? But it goes very deep into the doors. In fact, it looks to be
About 18 inches or so.
I'll tell you that it's longer than a foot in depth. Okay. Now, when you do look at the two separate keyholes, you do see that one of them is lined inside the interior. Like the circumference of it is lined with gold on one of them, and the other one is lined with platinum. They both go about 12 inches, at least 12 inches into the darkness.
Here's what I think, guys. Here's what I think. I think we need multiple. And there was we had an interview with Lady Alexia where we talked about this, and there was I can't remember if there was a number that was thrown out of these. For some reason, 6 comes to mind. But,
yeah, I have that memory as well. Let me see if I can find it.
And I think what this means is that I think, and I'm just building on I think what you were saying, Ted, is it's like 2 or probably 3 gold rods through one and 3 platinum rods through the other one.
So you have multiple. I know that you've got at least multiple of one or a couple of them.
We have, I believe we have 2 of each. We might have 3 of
we have
one.
2 of each, as far as I know.
So
all right. So here's what Lady Alexia told us: the golden rod rumor that there is a set of Obsidian Gates, black stone doors with wealth behind them, difficult to open, lots of schemes, no successes. All reports describe the treasures. Best rumors describe civilization that predates Arcontians, heavy wards. Placed at the end of the Hall of 40 Pillars below the Thothian precincts. Very mysterious. Doors need 15-inch rods of solid gold or platinum.
No number mentioned.
Now, there were a lot of pillars in that Heketi corridor accessed from the octagonal room.
There were.
You have all the pieces. I'm just waiting for you guys to make the.
So
To be clear too, like when you have multiple of the same kind of rod, and you look at the rods, there is no indication at all that they can affix to each other to form like a long telescoping rod or anything like that. You know what I mean?
there's got to be more than one set of gates.
I'm giving myself a pat on the back because after reading all those notes, I'm like, I actually did telegraph all this very well.
Yeah, no, you have.
What do you do?
So
okay, should we do it? Should we do it? I've already lost Elizabeth today. I can lose another one. He's old anyway.
David's quiet because you already have his answer.
Untold riches.
All right.
Yeah, but
Tell you what.
Yeah.
Untold evil?
What's that?
It's never. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it could be a what's the word?
Certain death.
You have to assess, first of all, the way that you guys operate in these dungeons.
We're always coming out the back way.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think this is the back door.
I'm not gonna say anymore. Just do you.
These are not Radishvan glyphs on the doors, though. They're Akedi glyphs.
Uh-huh.
Which, okay, so either these are not the Obsidian Gates, meaning these are the gates of, something else, and the Obsidian Gates are at the Hall of 40 Pillars, which we do not have here. That's around the corner. Or there's multiple gates to the same room of treasure. Yeah, I feel like we're missing one more clue. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Barros is going to pull out a platinum rod.
Yeah.
And he's going to
give me the other one. Let's do it simultaneous like the nuclear codes.
He'll give you the gold rod.
I activate my shield ring.
That's a 3-turn item. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mort's going to just step around the corner. So if the doors like blast open, he doesn't get caught in the flame. Something like that.
Oh, wait. Before I do it, just because he has another thing, and it might work with the ring too. He doesn't know this. He says, defend.me. Or what do you say? Protect.
Defend.me is the one that ISIS
Defend.me. He has that for an amulet of protection from normal missiles. He says that just in case it does something on that new ring that he picked up.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Okay, great. All right.
Okay.
Give me the damn golden thing and let's shove it in at the same time.
All right, let's just do it. Okay, Barros.
What do you want me to live forever? I'm looking at you, Upio.
All right, so Barrios and Wolford are going to insert the broad simultaneously into each of the holes. Is that correct?
Yep.
As the color indicates, yeah.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes. Oh gosh.
Do you do it? I'm just asking
sorry
one
if
last time.
anyone
Is that what you're doing?
Yep. Let's
Okay.
do it.
When you both insert the gold and platinum rod, and we'll just say for pathos' sake that the golden rod is the rod that was found by Vargar way back in episode 2.
That's one I'll pat myself on the back for. That was
Yeah.
That was amazing.
That was a good one.
Which has angered the great god, the great dragon Kraz has caused you all sorts of problems. You insert and then what's his name? Reskeem's little rod of office. No, you never got that from him. You found that this platinum.
No, we found others.
Yeah. Anyways, the two rods go into the doors and silently, as if they're just featherweight doors, like they're nothing at all. The doors just silently open outwards from you. A breeze of air comes through. If anything, the sense of palpable evil increases even further as whatever lies beyond sort of washes over you. Darkness lies beyond, and you don't see stairs. You don't see a teleportation hub. What you see is marching down the length past your past the range of your continual light. More can kind of verify as well. Is a wide hall, the same width as the doors themselves, that is lined with 6-foot wide pillars of pebbled stone that you recognize.
Son of a bitch, we opened it from the back side.
Down the southeast, but numerous pinpoints of heat signatures ping along the ground, moving and hopping on the ground in front of you. And you expected something grand and magnificent to accompany, and grand and terrible and dreadful. And what you see before you hopping on the ground are just a number of toads just sort of watching you and ribbiting as they hop along and in between your feet and through the doors and start to explore the midnight road on their own.
We're on the other side. The treasures that everybody's been saying is we've been walking around in it the whole time. It's all the Radishvan crap. Son of a bitch.
We had the
Yeah. The toads are quite large. They're about a foot wide, actually, a foot long. They're like big fucking things. But they're perfectly harmless, and they're hopping around. It's rather strange that they're here. So you are in almost as equally talked about, rumored, is the Hall of 40 Pillars, obviously built by Radishva. The ceiling is arched in a round arch, rises about 30 feet above the floor, and there are 40 stone pillars 6 foot in diameter that stretch into the distance and go all the way down to that transept, which you have seen from the open doors into Adrianic's tomb.
Can't believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, but at least we have an easy way back to the bastion now.
So the pillars, Ted, are actually a double row, if you care. Now, interestingly enough, there is they go the main hall goes down to the southeast for about 20 feet before there are two 20-foot wide niches on either side, on the western and eastern sides.
20 feet down, you said?
About 20 feet down from the Obsidian Gates themselves. And they're about 20 feet wide. So they're not even niches. They're almost like transepts in themselves. To go to the east and west. And you cannot see what is in those niches from where you are sort of standing, because you haven't stepped through the Obsidian Gates. Yeah, but you don't know where the back walls of them are. Do you know what I mean, Ted?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but your openings are correct. And then it continues the hall that connects with what you saw. Now so your surmising is correct. You have done it in your typical fashion where you have come from the back end. So you kind of have to picture, if someone, how everyone else has normally approached this is that they come from the other direction, assailed sort of by the sense of palpable evil, obviously Heketi architecture all around. They approach the Obsidian Gates. They likely don't have the keys or even know what the keys are, or stymied right there and then. However, you now know that someone did, different periods of history, not very many, right, met their end here on the other side. And you would think, too, that based upon everywhere you've been, it's quite likely that anyone who manages to penetrate the Obsidian Gates, this would be their introduction to the great history of the Radishva. Right.
By the thing that kills them immediately as they come through the gates.
Yeah. It's just, I just find it fascinating from like my on high, me in the referee's chair, that you have become thoroughly familiar with the Radishva culture and technology and its secrets and all that kind of stuff. And the last part, like, you know, as you're winding things up, you finally find the main entrance to the Radishva stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a little bit anticlimactic, but still extremely satisfying for me anyways.
Well, I was still really scared.
I really thought we were going to die.
Don't you guys feel better now that we opened it? Doesn't it
You're
feel
right,
better?
I do feel better. I feel
So
a lot
John,
better.
on the first of all, can we retrieve our rods? And is there an equal hole on the other side?
There is, so on the other side, so the gates are they have swung into the Hall of 40 Pillars. Okay. But if you look around the side without touching them, you can see that the two glyphs are replicated on the other side of the gates as well, and so are the holes. All right. And yes, you
How
can.
do we close the doors?
Good question.
Is there room to get behind the door and kind of try and push the key out without touching the door?
Or can we just pull them out?
It would be, if you don't want to touch the doors, it would be less dangerous to just simply try to pull them out.
Yeah, I just pull them out.
Yeah. Oh, if we can just pull them out and let the doors close again, that sounds great.
Well, what side of the doors do you want to be on?
The Radishvan side, because we got to go to the elevator.
Well, here's a point of. I mean, we can open this again if we want to. If we want to go rest first, then this is right now. We have an easy-ish path directly back to the bastion. If we go down this hallway and turn left, we can go through the octagonal room, down the transit shaft, and we'll end up at the bastion down at the bottom.
We haven't solved the guardian problem.
Which guardian?
The undead Radishvans that guard in the thrones. They'll attack us on the way down.
Well, but we'll just zoom
You've done
right
it
past
before,
it.
though. You could go right past them. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Well,
don't have
that's right.
time.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, we could take a pot shot if we went on the way down, but we can just zoom past back down the bastion at the bottom. Did
Not a bad idea, in my opinion.
You'll need to make sure that as we get close, I can't remember if we left that mine active at the bottom.
You did.
But I think does your you have a list, Ted? Can your bracelet turn off the mine?
It does not specifically say mines on the list, but it says anything that can receive orders, I can give it orders.
So the mine is not going to be one of those things.
Yeah.
I'm going to rule because they're sort of self-operating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to go that way.
So we might blow up. Well, I mean, we did leave it on, right? We did leave.
You
we
did.
have a
You
very
know where it
easy way.
is.
If we go to the residential pod, then we take the null grav lift up to the bridge, and from the bridge we can get to the captain's quarters easily.
So the bridge cannot be accessed by this shaft.
No. We go back to the transit hub. There's a teleporter that says residential pod. The residential pod.
You have not been to yet.
That's
have
on
not been
Elsa's
to,
level.
Yeah. It's got null grav. Don't the null grav lifts connect with the bridge of the residential pod? Or not?
No, the residential pod is a completely separate module.
Yeah,
we have a map of it then.
It's
'Cause
on
you found-
the
'cause
it's
you
on
found
the
a map of
maps
it.
that we found. Yeah, in the Veruda area, we found these maps, and it's on the one that's not labeled. It's on the map that is the map of the same level that Lady Clementia's asylum is on. It's down here. You see where my pointer is?
Yeah, no, I remember now.
Yeah.
It's just because on our other map we had a map of the residential pod before, and it's right next to the bridge. The bridge has a null grav lift, and this does too. And I thought that they connected.
no, that's
okay.
We also
that's the
know,
map. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say we also know that the Great Pillar is effectively a mechanical. It's a identical
manual.
elevator shaft, but it's what am I trying to say? It's analog. It's not.
Exactly. It's manual. Yeah.
So we could just go through the Midnight Road to it and descend there if you wanted to. Just take out new territory on the way. It's an option.
But that wouldn't take us to the bridge or the captain's quarters.
You guys got to decide what is your goal. Is your goal to rest in the bastion first, or is your goal to get to the deep space containment unit? That just basically tells you which path to go. So where do you want to go to
I
first?
wanted to go to the deep space containment unit, but Matt's proposing we go rest.
Well, we know the way to the containment unit. Let's go there. Let's stop
Yeah, let's go
speculating and
Great.
Okay,
Let's do it.
back to,
Great.
okay. So you're going to go back through the doors, pull out
Yeah.
the rods.
Yes.
Okay, so when you pull out the rods, careful not to touch the doors swing silently closed again. There's a slight puff of air as they sort of seal, like, finality, right? Still waves of brown awfulness kind of coming off of them. All right,
Yep.
so you step back through the portal. All right. Oh, by the way,
Yep.
once you step through the fiery portal, the dancer sort of appears, the hologram appears again. And the same sort of thing, like when you approach it, it says like identity, please, and then you kind of step through, just so you're aware that it always appears again every time you step through. You go back into the room.
John, can I ask one quick thing before we go back in that room?
Uh-huh.
You mentioned that the toads started kind of hopping around.
Mhm.
Do we want to leave those here, or should we just kind of like give them a quick pokey and just spork the frogs?
I think
That
it'll be
went through the-
hilarious when the laser eventually gets them.
Okay, leave them. Okay, Never mind. Then we'll just go through the thing. We'll leave the frogs to the
Oh
lasers.
yeah. Actually, for
There's good
effect,
eating on those.
that's a good point, Ted. Actually, for effect, let's just say a couple of the toads actually pop through the Obsidian Gates with you, right? And they kind of go in different directions. They seem to be aimless, right? When some of them go down southwest and they pass the plane of those 3 crystals on the wall and three down the 3 on the ceiling, 3 on the wall, there is like you see all at once like 6 laser beams come out of those crystals, and they just basically form like a grid across the entire road, right? And just splat, like the toad just completely like explodes.
Oh, like Resident Evil.
Right.
That's exactly what I thought about too.
I was thinking of like
Yep.
when insects get those light things in your backyard, they go
Bug zapper.
Yeah.
Bug
yeah.
zapper.
I'm curious if this is hey Ted, if you feel like testing it out, by all means, but if our identification plaques mean the lasers don't engage from proximity or not, or if it's something
Or
that's
you're-
turned off.
Do you want to try?
Yeah,
it,
or you could test your.
Oh no,
test your.
no. We can figure that out another time.
Do you want Barrios to try?
No,
Hey,
I
What
still
cans are
have.
for?
I still have guinea pigs. I still have Lucy and Ethel.
true.
They're like crawling around in my bag. So see if you can turn it. See if you can turn it off with your bracelet, and I'll toss one through.
I don't want to turn it off. I think it's great to have this thing here.
I just
stop
want
it.
to
Let's
find
go
out
back to
if you can turn it off and on.
Okay, I'll see if I could turn it off and on.
You can actually relay the command to the. So it appears now that you've sort of engaged with it with the command bracelet that this is a different, more sophisticated version of the point defense array.
Oh, okay.
Can I order it to remain on, but not fire on anyone carrying an ID card?
It actually gives you it relays back on the command bracelet an error, and the error basically it gives you like a code, right? And it says protocol already in effect.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Hey, David was right. That's why I was like, you want to try? Yeah. So yeah. So it looks like identity plaques you can pass through with if you're holding an identity plaque.
All right.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
That
That
little
mystery
toad
solved.
Didn't have a plaque.
You step back into the transportation hub.
Yes.
And unless I'm incorrect, you one at a time pop back into the elevator, into the arena portal.
The arena.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So it is as Mort described. Remember that it is completely dark here. You've got your continual light though, so it illuminates the blue granite slab elevator right there with its really cool lapis inlay of the Rudishva homeworld and moons.
So if
And
we
then there's that
stand
very
on the slab and we like with our foot, we just press the center button thing and it goes up.
That's what Aklachaw told you.
Is there room
So
for
let's-
4 people on that slab?
Mhm. Yeah, it's quite big.
What do you
10
say,
feet,
guys?
10 feet
Let's do
by
it.
20 feet. So
This would be
Let's
a
do
very funny trap to just squash us against the ceiling.
I know it would be hilarious.
Wait. So before we do that, John, anything in that basin, just like as we look, I want to just like look check that out, like under the benches in the basin.
yeah,
What's going on there?
it looks like something probably was in the basin at some point, but if it was liquid, it's all dried up. There's nothing in there except like just
There's no fountain or drain.
Yeah. Yeah.
With
not
that
really.
in mind,
Yeah.
With that in mind, maybe I want to see if once you guys ascend, that there isn't a secret passage underneath that goes down rather than up.
That's an interesting idea. Yeah. So
Just hang your head over the edge as we go up and watch.
Right, because it's an ascending elevator. What I'm wondering is,
Yeah.
once it's ascended, is there any?
right.
secret
Is it just
there?
a 6-story long slab that goes up, or is it like a levitating slab? Yeah. Sure. Do you want to do it alone or have somebody with you?
Barrios can hang out with me.
Okay. So if Wolf and Mort get on the slab and press the button and start to go up, then Upior and Barrios will see what's under the slab.
Yes.
And then they can bring it back down by hitting the button.
Okay. So who's on the slab? Sorry, I was reading something.
Mort
Wolf
and
and
Wolf.
Mort.
Mort
No.
and Wolf are on the slab. Okay, and then Mort, you're stepping on the inlay.
Yes, I'll step on the inlay.
Okay, so with a little bit of nausea, as you step on the inlay, the thing basically because you've never experienced like an elevator before, So you kind of and then you whoosh up,
Go.
and they're just fucking gone. And you guys are like, as you rise and rise, and you're going really fast, and you're going way up, and you leave your companions behind. Upior, Barrios, and that's it, right? Are left behind. Upior, you are looking at a small depression in the ground, just enough for the blue planet slab to basically fit.
No secrets. All right.
So
does the circlet pick up anything in this room before we leave? No, nothing.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Because there is a little pathway down.
Yeah, so that pathway is very weird, right? At the end of that pathway, what I
That's
described,
why I
right?
said.
Those, like, those teeth. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't detect anything enchanted, but what the iron circlet does show you is that thing is a secret door. Even though it's like not hidden, it's a secret door. Again, like it just tells you the presence of one, not like how it functions. But that should tell you something about the access to this place, that it wasn't meant to be sort of just stumbled upon, right? Okay.
Cool. I lost visuals on you, John. So
Okay. I don't know if David's muted. I just was.
I'm talking and I'm muted, and I was saying I lost visuals on you. So,
I can't see you
There you
either,
go.
John.
David and I are like
it's
this,
back.
man. We're like
And we're
this.
all back.
Yeah.
Okay, so the mechanism of how to open it isn't explained, but there is a secret door down there.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, you mind if I just spin a turn real quick just to see how to
Yeah,
open
go
it?
nuts.
So
You
we
haven't
know?
done much tonight. Do what you want.
Well, I mean, and it described that there was kind of like a slot for a lever or something in there, I think.
Yeah. So Upior, for your sake again, this is on the southern wall of that thing. There's a 5-foot diameter circle that's been cut into the marble. All right. Beyond that circle, just beyond it, there are some carved bits of stone which have closed over the opening in a complex way. It gives you the impression that you're looking from inside of a mouth at the back of like a set of teeth, right? In addition, there is a 1-foot-long and 1/2-inch wide slot. So a very, very, narrow slot is set in the lip of the circle itself.
I'm not feeling intelligent enough to solve this puzzle, guys. I have no idea.
So there's like a hole, right? It's like a
Yeah.
wide hole in the marble, and then right beyond it there are these set of like stone teeth which have basically closed, right? And then the only thing that looks like manipulable at any sort of way is like that slat, that sort of very narrow slot that is in the lip of the circle itself.
Okay, well, I'll take.
Get close and shine your light into the slot. See what you see.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. I was looking for something like thin. I have a dagger. I could put the edge of the Iso's dagger into the slot and just prod.
To be fair, if it's a secret door, we might not want to open that secret door. It may be like open to the arena, right? Like this might be the Statue of Liberty's mouth overlooking the arena, and everybody will look up at you.
That's let's hope not, because I already put my dagger in there.
Okay, so you put the dagger in there and you sort of fish around a little bit and you catch something. And when you do, you can hear this quiet grinding of gears, and then the stone teeth actually open wide. Okay, and reveal beyond through that circle what appears to be
spectators.
No, not that bad.
All turning their heads.
There is a 20-foot wide hallway that marches down directly south of you. All right, so it's 20 feet east to west. 10 feet directly in front of you is a pillar, and you can see that there are 3 more behind that pillar at 20-foot intervals. It's about 30 feet tall. The pillars are smooth granite, but sort of have like a greasy sort of sheen on them. All right. They all radiate strongly of magic with the iron circlet. Okay.
Wait, John.
Yeah.
He opens the teeth And it's a 20-foot wide corridor going straight south?
Yeah, and he's coming in directly in the middle of the northern wall of it. So the entire hallway is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's further than his continual light, but just for ease of mapping, it's 90 feet long, north to south, 20 feet wide. Now,
and there's columns, you said?
There are greasy granite pillars. The first one is directly in front of him at 10 feet beyond him, and then every 20 feet there are 3 more. Directly to your, actually about 15 feet ahead of you, Upior, on the western wall, so to your right, there is a door. It's Arcantian.
Western wall.
Okay. And, okay. When you turn around, Upior, and you look at what you came out of, this is what's really strange. There is a high relief sculpture of a humanoid face. And it's quite clear because of your previous experiences that this face is Rudishva. Okay, has a small tusks, pair of small curved horns. The face is 5 feet tall and also radiates magic. Okay. The let's see, the nostrils of the thing are closed up, of the face are closed up. The eyes are open, and the mouth, of course, is open.
Do the eyes have like a cavity within the lids, or is it
no?
When you say open, you just mean visually they're open.
Visually they're open. Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is awesome. I think I will rejoin the party for now, but we know this is here now, guys. Otherwise, I think it's a bit of a rabbit hole for me to pursue further, unless you want me to open that door real quick. But
can you close the secret door behind you as you come back?
Yeah, I'll try that. I'll return for now and try to hit the switch again with the dagger.
Okay, that works. So you were able to do it from the reverse end, and it closes up.
Then I'll go jump on the pillar and just say, Barrios, let's go.
You made a funny joke.
So there's no elevator here. What do you do?
I'm going to hit the button to see if it'll call back.
Okay, so you took a little bit of time to sort of step into the hallway. So it's been, we'll call it another turn. It's also the turn that it took for them to be transported. So we're sort of skipping the rest of the party for now. But after you hit it, and then after like a little of like a couple seconds or so, you hear it kind of descending, and it comes down without them on it, because I'm going to assume that they stepped off of the elevator once it arrived at its destination. And for speed's sake, we'll just say that the party ends up in their destination together after another turn. At the end of that turn, Wolford, at the end of as you step off of the elevator, finally you feel like the effects of the pill finally wear off. And as you venture into new territory, you're ready to tackle the world once again.
I have a different kind of weight on my soul now, John.
Not easily healed. Okay, so we are going to go to a map which we have not been on in quite some time. Where are you?
Yes.
We go up to the
Yes.
Hall of Shrines map.
The map got slightly messed up somewhere along the line and has some. We locked it down. I don't think I can unlock it.
We'll chalk it up to you being young and inexperienced and neophyte at this whole mapping game, Ted.
Somebody was, anyway.
Okay, so you are coming in that northern corridor there. Let me get to the map. Where are we here? What is this called? This was that level. Yep, there it is. Hello.
Wow, that was a long time ago. Whew.
I haven't been on this level in many a year. Where are you? Okay, there we are. Okay, so the elevator rises up, and in front of you. So unlike the base of the elevator where you started, there is no like surrounding area to sort of get your bearings. So when you come up to the top, Morton Wolford, the elevator, the shorter end of the elevator, so the 10-foot wide section of it, is actually facing south. And then directly in front of you, when you rise up to the top of the shaft, there is an iris door right in front of you, and there is nothing else around.
So, John, before we go much further, I'm not sure which part of my map is screwed up here. Is it the corridor or is it the rest of the room?
The rest of the room. So if you actually make that octagon sort of, can you see my pointer?
Yeah.
So if you make the octagon actually connect to this here and then this here, then
I can't move it. The whole thing's locked down.
Well, then don't sweat it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I can't.
There's not a lot of mapping you're going to have to do here, Ted.
Oh,
That got weird.
that did get weird. I
Anyway,
think I see what's wrong though.
It doesn't really matter. So so there's an iris door directly to the south, and I assume you wave your thing at it.
Yeah, I waved my thing at it. Is it impressed?
Let's see what is it? Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. So you wave an identity plaque at it. The iris door opens, and it leads to a corridor that's only about 20 feet wide. And beyond that, using your continual light, you can see that it opens up into the deep space containment unit as you thought it would.
All right.
And it's been, I think only Mort has been here before, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was here when we escaped from Garalad the first time. I had only played Mort a couple of sessions.
Yeah.
Time flies, boys.
It was like 80 episodes ago or something, 80 or 90 episodes ago.
Yeah, so you find yourself in the deep space containment unit. Once again, Akacha had given you the lowdown of who exactly or what is in the remaining pods. It doesn't look like anything has been through here since the last time you were here, Mort, a couple months ago, probably. But we'll leave the description of that room anew for next time. This puts us squarely at the end of the session, so this is a great place to sort of stop. And we'll see what they do with that still activated battle robot, supposedly. Cool.
Okay.
Come on.
Awesome.
All right. Well, that'll do it. All right, everyone. Lots of cool stuff discovered there. They're making their way. They're doing it. Let's see what their plan is for that droid. Okay, so that'll do it. That was episode 108 of the Halls of Arden Vul. Thank you for watching or listening to 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. Please don't forget to do your duty, like and subscribe, and spread the word, please. It really does help us out. If you have a few extra bucks, a Patreon subscription really does do a world of wonders for us. You'll get a few extra bennies, including access to secret channels on our Discord channel, and check out our publication, Feats of Exploration. It is an alternate XP system that awards OSR playstyles. So go check that out. Thank you, as always, to our supporters, our patrons, our explorers, our delvers, and especially our conquerors. Ted has the distinct honor tonight. Take it away, Ted.
The best thing you get is my dulcet tones reading your name aloud for all the internet to hear. Starting with Alan Barton, Alexander Bowes, Eric Tsunami MD, Samuel Dillon, Gregory Distelhorst, Yesterday's Glory, Mike Small, DMW 71, Richard Barton, James Boyle, Stephen BKK, Doc Jones 73, Jackson Bates, Grackle, John Hooker, Zachary Hall, Saps, Papa Bear DM, Zach Shiflett, Merci for Av 605, Ruben Kaller, Dar Jr., Procyon, Dakota Nielsen, Cam. What?
It's all right. Just keep going. Keep going.
Hey, Ted, could you read it? You're going a little fast for me. Could you could you slow it down a bit?
I'd be done by now if you guys weren't laughing.
True.
Cam, Stephen Quisenberry, Brad and Aiden, John and La Logan, Kabrowskis, Magic Meat Machine, Tom Leary, Phil, Nick, Terry Barney, Eric Lawson, Mando NZ, Faisal, Ted Gast. Yeah, Ted Gast, yeah. James Doig, Nefarious Gamer, Grunt, Andrew Schroker, M. Mont, Michael Schilling, Stefano Di Maiolo, Ash Gabrielle. Nobody puts Kerbold Khan in the corner.
That's amazing.
A good one, guys. The Hex Brawler twins. Iona. Hand Dandler. Summon Toast. Too Rude to Ishvan. Dungeon Heart Adam. Scott Yearsley. Mech Jack. Kick Maniac. Dire Grew. Tom Eric Garrettson. And then a bunch of names that Matt's like weirdly into. I don't understand it at all. Matthew Mattis, Matt Walsh, Matt Mason, Matt Gardner, Matt Aloney, Matt Koenig, and Matt Young. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for the continued support, everyone. We really do appreciate it. We will see what they do next time. Until then, have a great week, everybody. Bye now.
See you.
Thanks,
Thank you, John.
John.